My sister Amy has always been the golden child. Growing up, she got whatever she wanted, while I was the responsible one, the one who worked hard for everything. Our parents always said it was because Amy was more delicate, but I knew it was just an excuse for her entitled behavior. When our parents passed away a few years ago, they left the family home to both of us. I thought maybe, just maybe, this shared responsibility would finally make her grow up. I was wrong. So wrong. I was the one who managed the mortgage, the property taxes, the insurance, the utilities, everything. Amy lived in the house rent-free, treating it like her personal palace while contributing absolutely nothing. I'd gently bring up the topic of her getting a job, or at least helping with the bills, and she'd just laugh it off. "Don't be silly," she'd say. "You're doing such a great job on your own." My savings dwindled. The stress was eating me alive. I was working 2 jobs just to keep our heads above water, to keep the house our parents had worked so hard for. Meanwhile, Amy was posting pictures of her lavish brunches and shopping sprees on social media, all funded by the money I should have been saving for my own future. The resentment was a bitter pill I had to swallow every single day. The breaking point came last Tuesday. I had just gotten home after a grueling 16-hour shift. I was exhausted, physically and emotionally. I found a pile of overdue notices on the kitchen counter, including a final warning for the electricity bill. I walked into the living room, where Amy was lounging on the sofa, scrolling through her phone, a brand new designer handbag sitting on the cushion next to her. I took a deep breath. "Amy," I started, trying to keep my voice steady. "We need to talk about these bills. We're about to have our power shut off." She didn't even look up from her phone. "So, just pay it," she said with an airy wave of her hand. My blood started to boil. "I can't, Amy. I don't have the money. I've been paying for everything for 2 years. I need you to contribute." That's when she finally looked at me, a smirk playing on her lips. She slowly sat up, looked me dead in the eye, and uttered the words that would change everything. "You're lucky I even let you pay my bills." She said it with such casual arrogance, as if she were doing me a favor by living off my hard work. Most people would kill for this opportunity to take care of me. I just stood there, speechless. The sheer audacity of it knocked the wind out of me. All the years of biting my tongue, of making excuses for her, of sacrificing my own happiness for hers, it all came crashing down. In that moment, something inside me snapped. But I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I just nodded slowly. "You're right, Amy," I said, my voice eerily calm. "You're absolutely right." I turned and walked out of the room, a plan already forming in my mind. The next morning, I called a lawyer who specialized in property law. I explained the situation: joint ownership of the house, my sister's refusal to contribute to any of the expenses, and my financial strain. The lawyer listened patiently and then laid out my options. The clearest path forward, he explained, was a partition action, a lawsuit to force the sale of the property. It felt extreme, but what other choice did I have? Amy's words had been a declaration of war. She saw me not as her sister, but as her personal ATM, so I gave the lawyer the green light. The next day, I started the process. I also opened a new bank account and rerouted my paychecks there. I paid the most critical bills one last time to avoid immediate disconnection, but that was it. The Amy funding train had made its final stop. A week later, Amy was served with the official legal papers. I wasn't home when it happened, but I can only imagine the scene. She called me, absolutely hysterical. "What is this? You're suing me? You're trying to make me homeless." She shrieked into the phone. I let her vent, her torrent of accusations and insults washing over me. When she finally paused to take a breath, I spoke. "No, Amy, I'm not making you homeless. I'm forcing you to take responsibility for your half of the house. You can either buy out my share, or we sell the house and split the proceeds. Either way, my financial support is over." There was a stunned silence on the other end of the line. For the first time in her life, she was facing a real consequence. But where will I get that kind of money?" she stammered. "That sounds like a you problem, Amy," I replied, echoing the same cold indifference she had shown me for years. Then I hung up. The weeks that followed were a chaotic mess. The power was shut off. Then the water. The Wi-Fi had already been disconnected. Amy's pristine palace was quickly becoming unlivable. She tried everything to manipulate me. She sent our aunts and uncles to call me, telling me I was tearing the family apart. She posted vague, passive-aggressive statuses on social media about being betrayed by those closest to her, but I held firm. I had my lawyer handle all communication. The court date was set. "Amy, Realizing I wasn't going to back down, was forced to confront reality. She couldn't afford a lawyer to fight the partition, and she certainly couldn't afford to buy me out. The court ordered the sale of the house. The day the for sale sign went up in the front yard was bittersweet. It was the end of an era, the loss of my childhood home. But it was also the beginning of my freedom. The house sold surprisingly quickly. After the mortgage was paid off and all the legal fees were settled, we were each left with a substantial sum of money. I used my half as a down payment on a small, manageable condo, just for me. A place where the only bills I had to worry about were my own. The first night in my new home, I ordered my favorite pizza, sat on the floor because my furniture hadn't arrived yet, and I cried. Not tears of sadness, but tears of overwhelming relief. I was finally free. As for Amy, she blew through her half of the money in less than a year. A fancy apartment, with a lease she couldn't afford, designer clothes, expensive vacations. The usual. I heard from a cousin that she's now renting a room in a shared house and working a minimum wage job. She's apparently complaining to anyone who will listen about how unfair life is. She tried calling me a few months ago, asking for a small loan to get back on her feet. I didn't even hesitate. No, I said, and for the first time, it didn't feel difficult or guilty, it just felt right. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for someone is to let them face the consequences of their own actions. My only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. Setting that boundary didn't just save my finances, it saved me. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been in a similar situation, know that you're not alone and that it's okay to put yourself first. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.